Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember. Then I became a man, lost sight of who I am, but right in front of me was the answer. 'Cause on Christmas I feel joy, and I turn back to a boy. The answer is to stay young forever. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song.
Hello, Star Wars fans. You know, there's just 302 days until Christmas 2024. And you know what? I was watching the chat just as we were coming live, and Seth came in and said a preview literally just dropped right now. So as the intro song was playing, I did a search. I got on Twitter real fast, searched for Star Wars, and I see something. I see something right away. So let me, and this just says a new episode of Star Wars, The Bad Batch, is available tomorrow, only on Disney Plus. So let me share my screen and let's see if we can take a look at this preview before we get into our discussion. So let's see what we, let's see if I can do this and go back to the beginning. How are you guys doing? Are we good? I think we're good. All right, I'm going to hit play, and we'll see what happens. I can see right at the front we've got Hunter, and I assume this is Wrecker in some snow. There, let's see. Oh, we got a big snow beast. Why is there always a huge monster? You are in danger. This is recap stuff. She's not there anymore. We've seen some of this. Omega's been waiting a long time. So, need to know what I am. The way they put that together. Oh, there we go. There you go. That's the preview that they've been that they released today. That's what they put out just a moment ago. A few things in there. The big question is, are the new things that are in there in tonight's episode? That's a great question. I have some indication of what we might see tonight. And I know what we might not see tonight. And that's what we're here to talk about. We're going to talk about some predictions. We're going to do a little preview. And every time we have a new episode of a Star Wars show, we like to play a little predictions game here. I create a Google form, and you can go into Oh, wait a second. I'm talking and I'm not there. Now I'm back. You know, there you go. That's the title. The title is A Different Approach. So there you go. That's where did I go? Where did I go wrong? Every time we have a new show, we like to do a predictions game. And in the predictions game, we ask some questions. You can guess and you can make your own predictions on what's going to happen in the episode. I've put the predictions link to the form in the description here. I put it out on Discord, and if you follow the link in the description, you can put your predictions in as well. I do have some indication for what is happening tonight, what might be happening, and what is not happening. So we'll go into those things as well. as we go through the predictions. And I see we've only got 4 predictions in there. If you go to Discord, you go in the description, you can put your predictions in, maybe after we've seen this. But RF Gaming said, let's see how Santa plans to cheat or predict this episode. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I did get yours, Fitz, and we're going to go through the predictions. I'll give you my thoughts as we go through, so that you can make some informed decisions. I see we just got a new one in from Cassidy is Strange. We've got mine, Baymax, Dawn K, Fitz, and now this one. So we know also where we left off, right? Trev says, is a new formulation of the Bad Batch team, Hunter, Wrecker, Omega, and Crosshair. I am not sure how long Crosshair is going to be with us. I have some indication of what's happening tonight, but at the same time, I do not know if Crosshair is going to survive. So let's get into the predictions. We'll talk about it just a little bit. Trev says, I kind of wanted those 3 kids recruited. Yeah, I think this goes along the same path as like Harry Potter, right? You get the different books, you get the different movies, whichever way that you've consumed it. And you'll see along the way, Harry helps people here and there and everywhere else. And at the end, when there is a big confrontation, the friends that he's helped along the way show up to the battle. I think we could end up with something like that in the Bad Batch as well as it goes forward. And I saw Will saying Omega's going to sleep. Well, we'll see. Will. I'm not so sure. I know that makes a really good explanation for where she's been. And I know you like to make the connection to Sleeping Beauty and the 7 dwarves, and we've got the Bad Batch and Omega, and you've made some really strong arguments for that. I just don't know if that's going to happen. So let's take a look. And I just raised the fact that we know Fennec Shand, and we know that what's his name? I just went blank on it. Cad Bane, Fennec Shand and Cad Bane were around during the original trilogy era, and they were not in those either. So to not have Cad Bane, to not have Fennec Shand, and not to have Omega during the original trilogy era, and for him to show up after that, I don't think is such a big hole that I think there's a lot of storytelling that could happen. So let's see. I saw Trev said, I was kind of thinking those kids would become Omega's new family after the Batch's demise to end the series. Good point. I'm not sure where Omega is going to end up at the end of the series. It's a good question. And I asked this Friday, and when I was talking with Jason Ward, what are the percent chances that, and I just went down the list, what are the percent chances that Crosshair survives the season? I say it's almost 0. I don't say 0, but almost 0, as close to 0 as you can get, like within a hair's width of not surviving. In fact, I'm not certain Crosshair is going to survive tonight's episode. I just throw that out there. I don't know. Look, I'm a fat guy sitting in a basement. I can't say too much because I don't work in places where I have purview into that. And nobody send me screeners. Santa's not getting screeners because Santa's too small, and I hang out with the wrong people. So hanging out with the wrong people and being a tiny little channel, Lucasfilm has no idea I exist, and they have no reason to send me any screeners. Like, who's going to see it? 20 people? No. So they, hey, Lucasfilm, if somebody does know that I exist and you would like to send me screeners, I'll sign NDAs. I'll not talk about it, but hit me up. In that fact, I don't know where it's going to go. I'm not sure Crosshair is going to survive tonight's episode. In fact, I would say that it's less than 50% chance he survives tonight. Almost 0% chance he survives the entire season. And if we go on down the list, what's the chances Hunter survives the season? I think it's maybe 60 or 70% that he survives the entire season. The same with Wrecker, maybe 60 or 70%. As I sit today after watching 3 episodes, maybe 60 or 70% that Wrecker survives. We know some of the others make it, like Rex, like because they show up in Rebels and things. But if we just go down through the batch, right? Hunter, Wrecker, Crosshair, we already lost Tech, and then Omega. So Tech's gone. I think we could lose Crosshair tonight, or I think we're almost certain to lose him this season. And then we've got the other 2. Where do they go after the series is over? Let's say they both survive. What happens? What are the chances that Omega stays with them after the season? I think it's almost 0, because why would we have the final season of the Bad Batch if 3 of them are still together? Wouldn't it continue? So I think the chances of survival, or the batch staying together, is almost 0, which leads me back to maybe Hunter and Wrecker do not survive, but maybe there's another reason Omega has to leave. And with the Empire, let's just follow the Empire wants her. The Empire wants her bad because they know that her blood can absorb midichlorians with no loss. And it's important to go back to this. We talked about it a lot on Friday, and I put a lot of supporting information on Discord. But just as a short summary, the experiments going on at Mount Tantus on Wayland, they were putting M-count blood into blood samples. You can see it when in the machine, the sample comes up, they drip blood in, and then they test it. So they know how much M-count blood is going in, and then they look to see. We put 100 M-counts in. Is there still 100 there, or is it 80, 50, 20? Right? How much did it degrade when we put it in that other blood? You can see that that's what they're doing. They even discuss it in episode 1 and again in episode 3 that they're testing the blood. They're not testing the clones. They're taking the blood samples, and then they're doing these experiments about how can we do the transfusion of blood into them. So we have no evidence that they've done any testing on Omega that she has in herself M-count, or that she has force abilities or force sensitivity. Again, go back to Friday's episode. I went through it in detail. Go into Discord in the Bad Batch spoilers section. I went into it in detail. So that's not happening. They're testing blood. They want Omega in a bad way because they'd like to do more testing on her. It's very possible that at the end of the season, Fennec or somebody takes Omega to a place where she will be safe, far, far away from the eyes of the Empire. She can't hang out with Hunter and Wrecker anymore. They're too big of a target, so they've got to go. Let's see. Let's see. Is this the same? Yeah, this is the same. Risbon sent me the same. He sent me the same trailer we've already watched. Right, this is the one, except it's on YouTube. We've already seen this. All right, so I'm just going to stop that. We'll get into predictions in a moment. So there you go. That's my thought. And at the end of the season, we see Omega leave with, and my bet is still on she leaves with Fennec. that's a discussion to have. I think she's going to leave with Finnick. So Fitz, I didn't think Omega would escape last week, as I thought she would be there until the final episode when the batch come with a team. Yeah, in the trailer, this is worth discussion too before we get into the predictions. In the trailer, we see the batch, Hunter and Wrecker, in some machinery attacking a place. The thought was, well, they're going to Wayland to get Omega out. She's not on Wayland anymore. Her and Crosshair escaped in a very damaged vehicle. So what's going on there? I think we're getting Cad and Finnick tonight. Oh, Seth, here's the thing. And this is, I just want to share with you all. No. Believe Santa when he tells you. Right? No. I know some things. I do know some things. And I'm sworn to secrecy, and people have shared things with me who have already seen the episode. And I don't know the breakdown. I don't know the details. I don't know episode to episode what's happening. But I do know some basics. I know some very, very basics about what's coming. And we are not seeing Cad and Finnick tonight. The end. we're not seeing them. We're not seeing them, nor are we going to see Asajj. Not tonight. Not tonight. We'll get into it in the details as we get into the predictions. Will says, I told you like 3 years ago, I got something that no other clones got. That was true. Look, Omega got something no other clones got. Yep. We'll see, Will. We'll see. Look, I love you. You know, I think the highest of you. I think that you're absolutely brilliant. I just disagree. I don't think she's going to be a Sleeping Beauty. I don't. It's possible. I just don't think so. Yeah, we see someone in Crosshair's armor in the trailer. I put that in the thumbnail as well. We'll see what happens there. We'll see. We'll see. Santa keeps secrets. Yes, I do. Trev says, we see Omega standing over a grave with Bad Batch helmets on it in the last episode, a la Vader standing over Ahsoka's sabers in Clone Wars Season 7. Trev, you might be on point. I could see that for sure. I absolutely could see that for sure. To be the big heartbreaker, and she could be standing there. She could be standing there, hand in hand with Finnick or somebody, getting ready to leave. I'll be cautious. I'll be cautious about making too many predictions. Oh, Jedi Mike says $1 super chatting in Patreon today. I'll go check it, Mike. For those of you who don't know, if you support this channel as a patron, you go to Patreon. You can support the channel for as little as $1 a month. And I go to Patreon and I check our page there. There is a section in Patreon for I think they're called channels or something like that. Hold on one second. I'm logging into Patreon as we speak. Continue as Star Wars Santa. Let's get on in here and see. If I look at this as my creator account, I need my creator account. Hold on. Mike brought up a good point. I go to my creator account. I'll share this with you all so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's go here. You go to Patreon, and in Patreon, you'll find there are collections. Under collections, you will see that there are different topics that are available for folks. You can see the Santa Reads series. where I've gone through various novels. I'm getting ready to do book number 3 in The Fate of the Jedi Abyss. We'll be doing that soon, but you can see those. But then there's these pinned messages. If you go into the pinned messages, you will find one of them is for submitting these $1 super chats, right? It's not $1 each, it's $1 a month. For 1 month, for an entire month, with just $1, you can submit these and we'll go through it on the live stream. And you can see Jedi Mike put this one in 2 months ago. What was the biggest Christmas present? We talked about that already before. So we can talk about that again. So I'll check those later in the stream. If you are a patron, you can view those there and you can participate. All right. So let's see. Hey, Astromech Jeremy. Oh, thank you so much for the comment. Be sure to like the stream, share it, let people know what we're doing here. Well, chances are she's going sleepy. Let's see. Why do they want Grogu then to harvest midichlorians after Palpatine is dead? Oh, Trev, I love you. Great question. So we've got a few things going on here with this Project Necromancer, don't we? And I think it's a multi-staged experiment. First, can we come up with a process by which, through extraction and transfer, we can maintain midichlorians from subject A to subject B? That's the first step. Can we come up with a process where those midichlorians can transfer with no loss? That's what they're trying to solve now. B, what is the limit of that transfer? And the best way I can put this is if I got a 10-gallon tank and you try to put 100 gallons in, some of it ain't gonna fit. So if you've got a 10-gallon tank, let's say that the clone subject or the whatever subject has a maximum capacity of 10 gallons, and you try to put 100 gallons in. So I'm just using that as an easy way to describe Palpatine's midichlorian level way high. The subject could be, the maximum capacity could be 10. Sure, 10 in 10, right? It transfers with no loss. Sure. That's part one. Part two, find a vessel big enough to maintain the midichlorians you put in. We see that happening by the time the Mandalorian occurs in the project that's going on there in Dr. Pershing. Right, they're putting the midichlorians in. Right, they're doing the transfer, but the subjects can't maintain it, and they break down. He even mentions, right, they're breaking down. So they figured out the first part, the part they're trying to figure out right now. When we get decades later, by the time of Mandalorian, they know how to transfer 1-to-1, but can we transfer in 100 gallons? Who has the capacity of 100 gallons? Then we know by the time we get to Rise of Skywalker and in the novelization that they were doing clones of Palpatine and trying to put his content into those content. And would it maintain? And some of them had force abilities, some of them didn't have force abilities. And that was the consternation, right? So Palpatine's son, a clone, Palpatine's clone, Rey's dad, was a clone of Palpatine, presumably with the capacity to hold the volume. He didn't show any force abilities or force sensitivity. His daughter did. So we're off track. But there you go, Trev. We could have a long discussion about that. Do they have a bunch of mega blood in the Mando timeline? Well, the questions we don't know. Grogu wanted Grogu for his clones. Gideon wanted to create a Mando Jedi and of himself. So he wanted to make a clone of himself that had the Mandalorian heritage and the Jedi capabilities. That was that. Boba and Cad Bane face off. Let's see. Boba protecting Omega. Oh, that's a possibility, Trev, and that you bring it up. It's possible that Boba comes and rescues Omega. Lots of questions then come after that. Like we see Boba during the original trilogy era and all this time, yet no mention of his sister. But if he's keeping her secret, right? Very good, very good. Will says Omega's going to be like one of those mosquitoes from Jurassic Park, right? Leaving with Phoenix, a great speculation, right? Gets Omega into that bounty hunter world. Yeah, and gets her out of sight during the original trilogy era. We know Fennec is out of sight. There's no mention of Omega. If Fennec is out of sight and Omega is out of sight, they could be out of sight together. Right? Looks in the current season of Bad Batch, Omega looks strong with her new crossbow. Yeah, it's more of a not a crossbow, but crossbow. Yeah, crossbow. There we go. Hello, Sabersmith. Good to see you. Let's see if I can get caught up. There's a spoiler warning. Hey, KG. Will there be spoilers? I'm going to try to avoid spoilers. Is Phil Collins isn't with us today. We don't have the Phil Collins soundtrack running. No, Jason's not here. Clone Wars season finale vibe coming up. Yep. I think Trev might be onto something. I really do. Trev, really good. Let's see if I can just get caught up with the chat because I want to get into our predictions. And a lot of this is going to tie into the predictions. Let's see. Scroll. Harvesting blood from the Jedi in the Amber. Very good question. What are they doing with those Jedi who are in the Amber? And to Will's point, might Omega end up being one of those who are encased in Amber or carbonite, right? Obi mentions the Clone Wars Ring of New Hope. And look at the cloning that has come from that one line. Yeah, really good. Really good. Hey, thank you, Jedi Mike. Thank you for that. I think I did forget. I think I did forget the Mike Porter dad joke on Friday, so I have it for today. I love trolling Jason Ward on his Phil Collins hatred. It's great. All right, let's get into the predictions about tonight's episode. We're going to speculate tonight, and we're going to talk about what we might see and what I have been told as far as like setting expectations. We don't want to share. We don't want to share spoilers, but we do want to kind of set some expectations, much like I did Friday talking about Omega not having midichlorians. That came out of me being aware of certain story points and then watching the episodes and going back and rewatching them in detail to pick out some pieces. What I shared Friday and what I shared on Discord came from those episodes. Didn't come from any leaks. It didn't come from any spoilers. It came strictly out of the content. But I was informed a little bit in my noggin about what to go look for. And so I went back and I looked in really close detail and was able to pick out those points for you. My goal here is to kind of try to do the same. Set some expectations and allow for surprise. Oh, and I need to change that wall of fame. We saw episode 1 of the folks who did better than me on their predictions. Here we go. Episode 2. How are folks doing there? So we'll come back to that in a bit. We'll change to episode 3. Let's share on the stream the predictions form. The predictions form. Here we go. So the first question, someone will mention following orders. Well, we know that good soldiers follow orders. And we saw mention of following orders even in the episodes that came, not in that same quote, but we did see some discussion of it. This is a complete guess. Will somebody say something about following orders? Will the folks who are trying to chase down the batch mention following orders? Will Crosshair somehow mention, I was only following orders? Perhaps these are things to consider in the prediction. I don't know. I don't have the screener. I haven't seen it, and I don't have enough information to tell you which way to lean on this. It's very possible either way. Number two, someone will be killed, maybe a non-droid. I personally answered yes. Well, so did everybody. We have 100% of the responses to this point have said yes. I personally said yes, not because I have direct knowledge of anything, but because I think Crosshair is not going to make it through the season. I think it's possible Crosshair could die tonight. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he survives. I can't say. But if Crosshair dies tonight, I would not be at all shocked. As heartbreaking as that might be, it would not shock me in any way. However, I think it's just as likely we'll see some clones, or not clones. We'll see some stormtroopers killed. Right, that could happen. Mumbo Jimbo, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Oh, thank you. I missed all three of last week's prediction game. So can I predict as irresponsibly as I want for the rest of the season? Yes, you can. He says, so I can predict as irresponsibly as I want. By the way, my Columbus trip was great. Fantastic, Mumbo Jimbo. Glad you enjoyed the trip here to Columbus. A couple of show notes on that point when it comes to traveling. Real quick to let you all know. In a few weeks, in March, we're going to Montreal. My wife and I are going up to Montreal. We have a business trip up there for the company I work for, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're going up on Tuesday. We're coming back Sunday. We'll be in Montreal. If you're in that area, let me know. We could maybe swing by and grab a bite to eat, say hi, or pick up an ice cream. Who knows? Whatever, right? So Montreal. In April, I'll be going down to Memphis, Tennessee to the International Santa Convention that's going to be held in Memphis. And I'll be a presenter at that convention. There'll be a few hundred folks there that look just like me. And we're going to do that. So I'll be traveling in April to Memphis, Tennessee. And then in May, we're headed out again to Kansas City, where our daughter lives. By the way, speaking of her, tomorrow is Kayla's birthday. Happy early birthday, Kayla, if you're listening or you're out there. Tomorrow, we've already sent her some gifts. We'll be in contact with her. So happy birthday. Hey, Canadian 279 from Kanshu. Episode 4 means Plagueis should be. Kanshu, you know what happens when you bring up Plagueis on this stream? You go on the naughty list. Yeah. Kanshu, naughty list. 279 Canadian, naughty. Kanshu. Now, I will say, I think it would be awesome if Plagueis was the subject that they were pulling midichlorians from. Palpatine kept his body and has it stored away there on Tantus. Maybe that's it. All right, let's get back to predictions. Question 3: a droid will be referred to by name. We know that Gonki is around. They did not mention Gonki to this point, even when they used him. However, if we see AZ, we haven't seen AZ yet. If they go back to the island place where Fee is, if they go back there, maybe the AZ is there. If they see AZ, we could hear AZ. We could still hear Gonki. And If by some chance Omega returns to or is reunited with Hunter and the Wrecker and Gonki, she may very well say it. So I think there's a better than 50% chance, just like those who are responding, there's a better than 50% chance that a droid will be referred to by name, but I'll be watching with bated breath to see if I get it right. I don't know. I just don't know. Trev says, what about Hu Yang? What if Hu Yang shows up? True. No, Hu Yang is not showing up tonight. That's not happening. I can tell you a lot of things that are happening and not happening tonight. And that's one of the things that is not happening. A ship will fire on another ship. The yeses and the nos. Oh, Fitz, I see you. I see you, Fitz. The yeses and the nos. A ship will fire on another ship. One of the scenes from the trailer that we see is the ship that Omega and Crosshair are in their new pet dog. Right? We see that ship crashed on a planet and they're walking out of it. I think it's already damaged. And they've already been told, don't shoot that thing down. We need her alive. I think there's a better than 50% chance we will not. I'm going against the grain here. I'm going way against the grain. I think there's a better than 50% chance we will not see a ship fire upon another ship. However, what gets me wrong is is if Hunter and Wrecker are come into town and they get fired upon, or they fire upon another ship, and there you go, Fitz. This one's for you, right? Naughty list, absolutely, Fitz. This is what happens now. This is what happens when people super chat. Plagueis, they're super chatting to get to hear themselves on the naughty list. It's you too, Fitz, are on the naughty list. Oh, thank you for the super chat. It says Plagueis could make a cameo tomorrow night or tonight. We find out that Plagueis is hanging in that vat or in the vault, right? Right? Could be. I think there's a better than 50% chance that a ship will not fire upon another ship tonight. We will see Wayland mount Tantus. 100%. Everybody has said yes. I think I think that it's very likely we will continue to see Tantus in maybe every episode, right? Maybe every episode. Watch, tonight we won't see Tantus at all. We'll all get it wrong. We'll all get it wrong together, or we'll all celebrate getting it correct together. Number 6, a bounty hunter shows up in this episode. Here we go, my friends. I was watching those 3 episodes, and when I was watching them live, there were 2 things that I thought. At one point, I thought that the specimen that they were taking the samples from could be Grogu. I have been dispelled of that idea. I've been contacted and said, Santa, get that thought out of your noggin. It ain't happening. So okay, I'll stop on that train. The second thing is that a bounty hunter shows up. We know that Palpatine told Hemlock, you have all the resources of the Empire. This is of the utmost importance. There's nothing more important than this. Oh, so I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe he'll get bounty hunters on their trail. And that's why we see Cad Bane and Fennec Shand. No bounty hunters tonight. If you've said yes, you're wrong. Right? No bounty hunters tonight. A gift from Santa. Santa's wrapping the package, sending it to you. No bounty hunters tonight. Right? So there you go. The answer to number 6 is no. Just put no. You'll get it right. Number 7, a named character from another show, movie, or comic appears. Now, this just goes into kind of the typical logic. I like to think back to Rebels, right? Rebels season 1. not so good. Rebels season 2, much better. And it got much better as we started bringing in people like Vader or Ahsoka and telling those stories. And so I put this in here because here we are in another show who's going into its 3rd season. Might we see Ahsoka? She's certainly part of the overall picture at this point. Could Ahsoka show up? Well, she's out there. We know she shows up in Rebels. Could she be in this? I've been told, not so fast, Santa. Slow your roll. Slow your roll. What we will see in the Bad Batch are more things that fit with the Bad Batch. This isn't Rebels. This isn't the Clone Wars animated series. It's a bit of a continuation, but it's its own show. Do not expect to see Yoda, Yaddle, Ahsoka, any of those folks show up, especially not tonight. Not even the next few episodes. So when you start to think about who is out there that is maybe not in this series, not yet. Right now, we're Bad Batch centric, and we're going to stay Bad Batch centric for some time. That's where we are, and that's. I was told this story moves forward, not backwards. So just look for things to continue moving forward. Again, no spoilers. I don't know what that even necessarily means, but it does have some implication, right? Right. So if you're thinking maybe they recapture Omega, or maybe they recapture Crosshair, I was told, don't lean into that too far, Santa, because this story continues to move forward. Right? So just keep that in mind. I'm sharing with you what I know. No, again, I don't know the details. I don't know what's going to happen tonight exactly. I've got an indication on direction and like overall theme of the show. So there you go. Do you think we'll see the traitor Sid at all this season? Oh, good question, Baymax. Perhaps. This is consistent with somebody we would see in the Bad Batch. Somebody who was in a previous season of the Bad Batch could show up in this season of the Bad Batch. I wouldn't expect to see all of a sudden Mon Mothma show up, for example. Right? But might we see Sid? Yeah, sure. I don't think tonight, just based on what I know. I don't think so, but we'll see. Seth says we did see Kanan, Chopper, and Hera. Well, we heard Kanan. They mentioned him twice, right? 2 or 3 times. Did we actually see Kanan? Yeah, we did. We saw him as a boy, but we saw him when he was what was his name when he was a kid? Wasn't Kanan Jarrus? It was Caleb Dune. Right, we saw Caleb. We didn't necessarily see Kanan, but yeah, we saw him in episode 1 right off the bat. There you go. Next question: a named character. So the answer to this for the foreseeable future is always going to be no. Question 7: for the foreseeable future, at least tonight, in the next couple maybe. I would answer no to this, and I will be answering no to this myself. So if you want to know Santa's answers, Santa says no, ain't happening. Someone will use the Force, an observable use of the Force. This goes with some of what I was just mentioning. We're not going to see Ahsoka, Yoda, Yaddle, or Asajj tonight. Asajj later in the season. Not yet. Hold your horses. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. So I think when we see somebody use the Force, my own opinion on this was that it will be Asajj Ventress. We're not to that point yet. So I would say until we see Asajj, the answer is no. When we see her, most certainly, I would think assuredly yes. So there you go. And Asajj is not showing up tonight. She's not showing up tonight. Will we see a flashback scene? I thought lots of times that we were going to see flashback scenes, but so far, no. I keep expecting to see flashbacks of Tech falling back on, to his death. From Omega having nightmares, from Wrecker or whomever. We did see Tech's goggles on the dashboard there in the Havoc Marauder, but that's it. So we don't know. So this is a guess on my point. 3 episodes in, not a single flashback. Tonight, I'm saying no. I have no information. This is just my guess. My guess is no on question 9. Number 10, a species or droid speaks in another language. This is when we get the subtitles, not closed captioning, but actual in-show subtitles of somebody speaking in another language and then putting in subtitles what they said. So far, we've gotten no. We're 3 episodes in. We're 0 for 3. I guessed no. It's a complete guess. Who's to say? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. And then the last thing we do on this prediction is we throw out an open-ended question. You make your guess of what might happen in tonight's episode. If you go for something obvious, well, there's rules in the form. You can read them. It says these are worth 0 points. Answers like these get 1 point, and then you can swing for the fences. You can swing for the fences and try to get 5 points. Dale, Skywalker's Academy, did hit one of those. He nailed it. Got 5 points. So you can swing for the fences and go for 5 points. And we see here that some folks have gone for the fences. Some folks have put in the 5 pointers. So Omega will reunite with Hunter and Wrecker. We haven't seen that in a trailer. We haven't seen that in any spoilers. We've not heard that from any leaks or rumors. We don't have any indication of that. If it happens, that's a 5-pointer. Good guess. Good guess. Crosshair kills an Imperial. This is another one. We haven't seen Crosshair kill anybody in a trailer. Is that an informed guess? Yes, but it would classify as a 5-pointer. I want to see the baby or the captured Zillo Beast. The captured Zillo Beast we haven't seen in a trailer or leak. That'd be another 5-pointer. Mega will see Hunter and Wrecker, maybe hug Gonky. Look, there you go. Another 5-pointer there. Somebody swinging for the fences. Pabu makes an appearance. So we're going back to Pabu. We haven't seen that. I would give 5 points for that. And the last one that just came in while we were here, Hunter and Wrecker or Omega and Crosshair have to find a new way to complete the mission. Okay, so plan B, plan C. Sorry, they start off with a plan and then it changes. They have to find a new way to complete the mission. Or Hemlock has to find a new way to capture Omega. Some plans change. So there you go. Hey, this is the game. We so far we have all 5-point people going for the fences, right? People taking a long shot out there to see if they could get 5 points on the answer. The 1-pointers are things like Omega will be in the episode. Well, there you go. 1 point, right? Omega will crash a ship. The ship Omega and Crosshair are in crashes. Well, that's in a trailer, right? That's in one of the TV spots. 1 point. So with all of those, the 1-pointers, and there's examples in the form itself. If you want to play it safe, you want to get that point, put one of those in. You put a 5-pointer in and you get it wrong, it's an all or nothing game. Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, not in predictions. So I say that, but I lie. Sometimes I do give partial points because people are so close. So, hey, you guys go for it. Go for it. And Mike Porter, the new episode will drop the second time in the night when I void my bladder. Me too, my friend. These episodes, I'm in the Eastern time zone in the United States, and the episodes come on at 3 a.m. Santa is sleeping. The only time I'm out of bed at 3 a.m. is to go to the restroom. That's it. I do have Mike Porter dad joke. I had it for Friday, and then I think I forgot it. But just want to reinforce again, if you play the predictions game, you put your predictions into the form that's in the link is in the description here. I also put it out on Discord. If you play the predictions and you get as much or more correct as I did, and I've shared with you my thoughts on this episode, if you get them correct, you can show up on the Wall of Fame. We had episode 1, episode 2, and episode 3. You've been seeing on the crawler below. You can see your name in lights right there going across the bottom of the screen, and you don't have to pay to do it. It's all free. You don't have to be a patron. You don't have to be a subscriber. You don't have to super chat. It just shows up there, right? So you can do that, and then through the season. So you maybe you missed the first 3 episodes, and you'd like to play the game. You can get on the Wall of Fame for episode 4. You can jump in the game anytime you want, but there is an extra bonus for those who play for the season and get in every season episode. You can show up on a season leaderboard. That means cumulatively over every episode, you've gotten as many or more correct than I have. Then you can go on the season leaderboard. At the end of the season, I offer you some Star Wars Santa merch. You can get it at my expense. I buy it, I ship it, you get it. And again, you don't have to be a paid member. You don't have to be a patron. You can just play the game. And if you can play the game better than Santa, you can get some Star Wars Santa merch. Many of our friends here have some Star Wars Santa merch from that very way, right? That's how they got it. I do have the Mike Porter dad jokes, and I'm almost certain I forgot to do this on Friday. So this is Friday's dad joke. If you guys follow Mike Porter on Twitter, which you should, if you're not, the link is in the description. Go follow Mike Porter on Twitter. Make sure you're getting his posts. He posts a dad joke almost every single day, and on Fridays. And when I live stream, Mike Porter is so gracious. He tries to create a Star Wars dad joke for me to share on our live stream. So here's the last Friday's dad joke. It says, "What does Hunter call the defective lock that he used to secure his gear?" Well, he calls it the bad latch. Bad latch. It's defective. Oh, thank you for that, Mike Porter. We love Mike. Thank you so much for all you do for the channel and for being here, sharing it out. Good fun. Good fun. That's my predictions. That's my speculation, and you guys a bit of preview for what you might see tonight, what you will not see tonight. I've shared with you a good bit of what I know. So take it as you will. I've tried to avoid spoilers. Right? I haven't told you exactly what's going to happen, but I've told you some of the things that are not going to happen. So, and we haven't seen the story, so we don't know where it might go. I've had a great time today. We're going to cut it off here. We're going to cut it off just under an hour. The chosen pun, Mike Porter, nails it again. Good job, Mike Porter. So you guys have a wonderful day. Happy Bad Batch Eve. And we will see you tomorrow about the same time for our episode 4 rewatch. For many of you, my first watch. And we will discuss it, break it down, and review your predictions. Find out how everybody did at the end of the show. So look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And until then, my friends, Merry Christmas, and may the Force be with you always. Bye-bye.